Iraqi engineers, they would get their food from, the Iraqi bases nearby. So when they were staying with us, we could go get their food for them, or a platoon or an element would come and drop them off food. So we saw them a fair amount, and we went to a lot of Iraqi bases as engineers to build and do and, fortify. So.
And do you feel that you were supporting them well? Were they, did you have the feeling that they were very glad to have your assistance there, helping?
Engineers specific? Yeah, I think they were. I mean, they were very talented guys in terms of operating equipment. I thought that they were. I mean, in my dealings with them, they seemed very open to us being here. I didn't have any negative. I got the sense that we were helping specifically engineers. The IA didn't have enough interaction with the SAG.
What proved to be the most challenging during your deployment?
The most challenging mission or period of time, or
period of time and mission.
Yeah, I would say that in the end of January, February, month of February time frame was definitely the climax and the most difficult. I happened to fall right in the middle, and I'm sure that had something to do with it. But it also, the mission tempo at that point had changed pretty dramatically. We had started to really leave, rather than staying on Balad or Warhorse and kind of going in and out, literally leaving in the morning and coming back at night, or leaving at the night and coming back in the morning. The transition to staying places, so they would take over point A on a corner of a city, they being the infantry, our infantry, or cav or whoever. And as engineers, we would come in shortly thereafter and, knock down the buildings and obstacles in that area, and put up HESCO baskets and T-walls. So basically building command outposts so they could go into the city. So that certainly became a lot more difficult. First of all, Diyala at that point was a pretty dangerous place, and so was the city of the Kuba. And so the city by its nature is very tight and very scary in terms of, in a field you can see. It's scary in that you can't see everything.
See around the corner.
Yeah, and so that period of time, we stayed out there for a while, and it was a pretty difficult spot.
During that time, did you feel that the resistance accelerated?
I definitely do.
So were you and your platoon in greater danger? And how did you protect yourselves against that?
We were in greater danger, certainly. We protected ourselves. Well, first of all, all of our equipment was up armored, and we used to, as equipment operators, it's nice to have somebody on the ground to say forward, back, too close, too far, and so we had to eliminate the guy on the ground. So that makes things a little more challenging. We started shifting to operating only at night and taking advantage of our, we had Crow weapon systems and things like that would, had infrared, night vision and things like that, and we were assuming they didn't have, So we transitioned to, almost exclusively working at night, and if we were working during the day, then it was, nobody was on the ground. You were always in up-armored equipment. And I think in general we took a different security posture at that point. You kind of had the sense like, we're not screwing around here anymore. I mean, this is pretty serious. And then, we had CNN. I mean, we could tell that things were not going well at that point. I mean, you still called home, and you knew that they were beginning to, this is the deadliest month, and then the first of the month they'd say the same thing. So, you knew. I mean, things were not going well. So, I mean, in terms of changing what you did, yeah, you made sure you had your back plate on and your safety glasses and things like that during that period of time.
Back.
Yeah.
The whole time. Well, describe the relations between the soldiers on the line and officers? Was it a good relationship?
Yes, it was limited in that the platoon leader would be the only officer really that dealt, and I'm speaking in terms of my platoon. I mean, we weren't a headquarters platoon, so we didn't see officers in and out every day. But I think they generally, our platoon leader was a good man. We liked him a lot, and the second one was as well. So I think it was good, specific to us. They didn't enjoy, nor did I, our battalion commander. He was one of those. He seemed aloof to the guys and certainly pushed down some things in terms of this is unnecessary, and they didn't have a good feeling about that far up. But in terms of our platoon and company, I thought it was good.
And how about the military as a whole at this point? Was the morale very low? Did it hamper the ability to achieve missions?
Well, the military as a whole, I wouldn't venture to answer that, but I mean specific to our platoon and company and what I saw in my vicinity, I thought it was good. I mean, that's a general statement. I thought it was good. There were certainly rumblings of why are we here, speaking of Iraq, and certainly bashing whoever was doing these kind of things. I mean, President Bush was kind of this punching bag, but I would always ask, well, what specifically? And none of them really knew specifically, or I shouldn't say none of them, but most didn't really know specifically, but they just kind of had the sense that we must have done something because we're here.
Right. And how about with like journalists? What was the relationship with journalists? Did you have interaction with them? Were they very much embedded?
We had a freelance reporter from the Stars and Stripes who accompanied us on one mission, maybe two missions. Same guy. I thought it was good. I mean, when a guy shows up with the camera, I mean, everyone's got the idea he's going to make you famous. So yeah, I thought it was good. Yeah. It was the only interaction we had,
And how about the relationship between soldiers and like the rear base, civilian contractors, local population? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Well, civilian contractors, everyone certainly said they make way too much money. No one really, I mean, some guys knew how much they made, but no one really knew what the guy was making. No one asked them. But we certainly, we were initially at Balad, and so the facilities there, because it's an Air Force base, connected to Camp Anaconda, you had everything you wanted, and that's where people in the region went to get things fixed. So being stationed there was nice because you could take them to civilian contractors, whether it's your heavy equipment, your weapon systems, your laundry, your food facilities were all, unappreciated until you started moving further away from the honey hole. You realize without civilian contractors, it's pretty difficult. And when we started doing missions where they would haul concrete, precast concrete, whether it was Jersey barriers or T-walls, they would line haul the concrete to us, and so we had a lot of interaction with them, and it was all good. I mean, they were very knowledgeable people, easy to get along with. They always seemed fun-loving adventure to me. I mean, so I thought it was pretty good.
How about with the local population? Did you have much interaction?
Certainly smile and wave and things like that. The nature of our job was not a lot of foot patrol or door-to-door activity, and so there was usually, we created a perimeter of security, like a no-go zone when we were working someplace. You'd have well, first of all, you're working at night, so there wasn't a lot of people. Second of all, when you were working, you were operating heavy equipment, so we had limited